Ever feel like you're doing everything right with your diet, but that number on the scale just refuses to move? It is so frustrating, and a lot of us have been there. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and expose the hidden culprits for weight gain that are secretly hiding in the foods we eat every day. It's a classic puzzle, right? You skip the obvious junk food. You're trying to be mindful of your meals, but the scale is just stuck. You start to wonder, what on earth am I missing? Well, here's the thing. The answer probably isn't about your willpower. Nope. It's actually hidden in the science of our modern food supply and in the really complex ways that even so-called healthy foods can mess with our bodies. So let's start digging. Okay, first things first, let's get the usual suspects out of the way. When you think about foods that cause weight gain, there's a certain cast of characters that always pops into your head. Yeah, no big surprises here. We all know that soda, pizza, cookies, and fast food are just loaded with empty calories and unhealthy stuff. But here's the deal. Just avoiding these foods isn't the whole story. The real problem often comes from the culprits hiding in plain sight. And this is where things get really tricky. We're constantly told that certain foods are good for us, but when you look closer, the reality can be kind of shocking. Welcome to what I like to call the healthy food trap. Take flavored yogurt, for instance. It seems like a smart snack, but flip it over and look at the label. Many of them are so packed with sugar, they're basically a dessert in a cup. And it's the same story with those store-bought smoothies. They sound healthy, but they're often just sugar bombs from juice and syrups, and you miss out on all the good fiber from the actual whole fruit. And the deception doesn't stop there. Granola bars? A lot of them are just candy bars with better marketing, packed with calories and sweeteners. And veggie chips? Oh, come on. Most of the time, they're just potato chips made from starchy flour with a little bit of vegetable powder and a whole lot of salt. The marketing is just so misleading. But why? Why do these foods, both the obvious junk and these sneaky health foods, have such a powerful grip on us? Well, the answer lies in how they manage to trick our brains. You see, our bodies have these really complex ancient systems for regulating hunger and fullness. But modern processed foods have found loopholes. They've figured out how to hijack those systems, tricking our brains and locking us in a cycle of cravings and overeating. A really key idea here is the glycemic index, or GI. Think of it as a scale that ranks carbs based on how fast they spike your blood sugar. High GI foods send you on a wild ride, a huge spike, followed by a huge crash that leaves you feeling hungry and tired just a little while later. You can see it so clearly here. Processed carbs like white rice have a super high GI, and that's what puts you on that blood sugar roller coaster. But then you look at something like lentils. They have a low GI, so they give you nice, stable energy that actually keeps you feeling full for a lot longer. So what about diet sodas and sugar-free snacks? I mean, they use artificial sweeteners, so they should be the answer, right? Well, here's where it gets really weird. As the use of these sweeteners exploded in our food supply, obesity rates just kept on climbing. Some studies even suggest a link between using more sweeteners and gaining weight. So what in the world is going on? Here's the trick. Your brain is hardwired for survival. When it tastes something sweet, it expects a reward. Energy in the form of calories. But artificial sweeteners give you the sweet taste without the calories. So the brain gets this incomplete signal. It's like it was promised a reward that never showed up. The result? Your brain feels cheated and unsatisfied, which can actually crank up your sugar cravings and make you eat more later to make up for it. All right, now for another hidden villain. Trans fats. These are totally artificial fats. They're made by taking liquid vegetable oils and pumping them with hydrogen to make them solid. Why? Because they're cheap, they give food a long shelf life, and you'll find them in a ton of processed and fried foods. Trans fats are just uniquely bad for us because they deliver a nasty 1-2 punch. They raise your bad cholesterol, the LDL, while at the same time lowering your good cholesterol, the HDL. It's a truly deadly combo that seriously increases your risk for heart attacks, strokes, and type 2 diabetes. But it's not just about the ingredients you can read on a label. There are invisible forces in our environment that are influencing our weight without us even realizing it. Let's look at two of the most surprising ones. Have you ever heard of an obesogen? It sounds like something out of science fiction, but it's very real. It's a type of chemical that can actually mess with your body's normal metabolism and encourage it to store more fat. Think about that. These chemicals can basically reprogram your body to gain weight. And here's the really scary part, they're everywhere. We're talking about BPA in plastic containers, phthalates in food packaging, pesticides on our fruits and vegetables. We're constantly exposed to these things without even knowing it. And that exposure can be subtly pushing our bodies towards storing more fat. And finally, there's the giant elephant in the room, portion distortion. And no, it's not your imagination. Serving sizes have become absolutely massive. A standard fast food meal today can be 2, 3, even 5 times bigger than it was just a few decades ago. Our brains have just gotten used to it, and we now see these huge portions as normal. So, okay, with all of these hidden traps and invisible forces, what are we supposed to do? It's easy to feel overwhelmed. But the key isn't necessarily to eat less, it's to eat smarter. It's all about developing a new mindset to navigate this crazy modern food world. It really comes down to a new strategy. It means you have to be a detective. Question the marketing on the front of the box. Actually read the ingredients list. Make whole foods, stuff that doesn't have an ingredients list, the star of your plate. It's about understanding the science and just being aware of how huge portion sizes have gotten. Once you really understand all these hidden factors, from the sneaky labels and brain-tricking sweeteners to the invisible chemicals, you can start making choices from a place of power. Because real control isn't just about what you avoid, it's about what you understand. So the only question left is, what will you choose to see differently?